the relationship between you and your dad. What was that like, bro?
Oh, it's a big question. It is a
Yeah,
big question. But you know what? Alhamdulillah, I'm someone that counts my blessings. You know, I have a
yeah,
father. I
yeah.
still have a father, and
Alhamdulillah.
being at the age that I am, a lot of my friends don't have the privilege of still having both of their parents alive.
Yeah,
So alhamdulillah, you know, I've still got my father. I've still got my mother as well.
yeah.
I've got all my grandparents. Alhamdulillah, they're still alive. You know, so for me growing up, I always had a lot of father figures. It wasn't just one father
Oh,
figure.
well, okay.
So because I grew up in a big household,
Yeah.
um, so I had my dad,
Yep.
then I had my dad's brother, my uncle, then I also had my
Uh,
granddad, then I had other uncles who all lived close by. And because I was the
wow.
firstborn in a family,
Yeah,
um, in like I'm the oldest in my generation.
yeah.
So
Okay.
as soon as I was born, like there was a lot of love given to me and me only because I was the only
Yeah,
child.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Subhanallah.
I had a
Yeah.
lot of father and mother figures. So I had my
Right,
dad, my
right.
uncles, my
Yeah.
cousins, and I had everybody. So for me, the way I looked up to my dad was even still today, I look at my dad as my hero. You know, he's someone
Yeah.
that I look up to. He's someone that I want to be, or if not, be better than.
Yeah, I
You
want to
know,
explore that, bro. I want to ask you something about that. Yeah, do you know what? Okay, so you've you mentioned that you've got that you had a lot of male figures, but was your dad the most dominant one out of all of those role models around you that you had?
when you say dominant, how do you mean?
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, let me rephrase that. Who was the most influential one? What was it? Your dad? Was it your uncle? Or like, what was the dynamics
It
like?
was definitely my dad. It was definitely
Okay,
my dad.
okay,
My dad is the most mature person I've ever encountered. You know,
okay.
his mindset, his masculinity, his maturity is all quite up there, and it's something that I wanna,
Yeah,
inshallah, one day I wanna hit. You know, he had me
bro.
when he was, I think, I think he had me when he was about 26 or 27.
Okay,
So I'm only 25,
right, right.
right? So I've still got a
Yeah.
couple years to try and
To
reach
catch
that.
up with it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, to catch up.
Bro, you said something there that that brought something to my mind, and that is you said that he was masculine. What do you mean by that? Can you elaborate on that, bro? Because that's an interesting point.
It is an interesting point. I gotta watch what
Yeah.
I say because I know there's a lot of there's a lot of this toxic masculinity thing that goes
Say
around.
how it
But
is, bro. Say how
in
it
all
is.
honesty, the way
Yeah.
my dad operates and the way
Yeah.
his character, is all based on religion,
Okay.
right? So the way he treats me, the way he treats his wife, who's my mom, the way he treats
Yeah.
my sibling,
Yeah.
he does as best as he can according to the teachings of our Prophet ﷺ, right?
So
So
yeah.
he's very gentle. The man has so much patience. It doesn't get through to my head. He's
Wow.
a very very patient individual.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to get on his nerves a lot. I
Yeah.
still do,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But alhamdulillah, he's got, you know, he's had a lot of patience. He's been
Yeah.
through a lot. I've seen him go through a lot. But
Yeah.
his patience and his love for his wife and his children and his deen has really kept
Yeah.
him like like sane up there, if you know what I mean. So his masculinity is more of
Yeah.
a someone who doesn't get angry, someone who
Right. Right.
doesn't,
Right.
someone who's not argumentative, someone who's very
Yeah.
patient, and someone who's very observant. My dad can sit in a room in silence and he'll be able to observe everything that's going around him, and he'll be able to understand a person
Yeah.
just by
Yeah.
hearing how they talk. That's the kind of masculinity. I'm not talking about the, oh yeah, I'm
Right.
so macho and I got to
Yeah.
walk with my
Yeah.
shoulders
Yeah.
up and
Yeah.
my chest up. That's toxic masculinity. I'm not talking
Yeah.
about
I
that.
get that. I get
But
that.
my dad's masculinity is more of a, this is a man that I want to rely on. This is a man who will look after me.
Yeah.
This is a man who will look after my siblings and my mother. This is a man who will take care of us. You know,
Yeah.
it's that kind of masculinity that the man that you're supposed to be. Do you know what I
Mm,
mean?
I get you. Bro, do you know what are times when you've actually saw him, like, say, lose his rag, or like when he was going through some kind of challenges where he weren't on point that day. He just had one of them times when he's just overly stressed. The stress got the best of him. What was his reactions like? His responses like at that time?
You know, there's
Yeah.
so many I can think of because coming from the culture that I'm from, there's
Yeah.
a lot of drama. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
sure you would know. There's a lot of
Yeah.
drama.
Yeah.
So and that drama always, the man in charge is always the one that has to bear the brink of like the beginning and the end of the drama.
Yeah.
So I can tell that he used to get to him a lot. And I'll be honest, I never made it easy for him. I would always add to the
Yeah.
trouble, right? And he would.
Yeah.
I'm the easiest person to take it out on. He wouldn't take it out on my mum. He wouldn't take it out on my younger
Yeah.
siblings. I've got a sister and a brother,
Yeah.
and they're young. They're younger than me. So it's easier for him to take it out on me because
Yeah.
I'm the older figure and I'm not someone who's gonna retaliate in a sense where what are, you're shouting at me, that's it, I'm out, I'm not your
Mm.
son anymore, blah blah blah. So
Yeah.
I could understand it, but there were times when me and him would argue because
Yeah.
I would have a disagreement with him, he would have a disagreement with me, family
Yeah.
drama, all of these dramas will come into the picture, and sometimes he'll just lose it and he'd raise his voice, but he never lay a hand on me.
Yeah.
He couldn't do that to his children. He couldn't lay his hands on his children.
Bro, see, your situation is quite rare because a lot of fathers I've spoken to, they got their ups and downs and things here, but I've not come across a father yet or a brother that I've spoken to where they've said that their dad was the masculine man, the way that you've described it, is very rare. Just to let you know, I don't know if you're aware of it, but I'm just gonna bring it to your attention. You're in a unique situation. Alhamdulillah, that's really really unique to have, bro. That kind of masculine father, present one, calm under pressure. You know what I'm saying there, bro? That is very very rare. You don't come across those types of fathers. Well, I've not come across those types of fathers. I've tried to emulate to be like that, but um, amongst a lot of brothers that I've spoken to, bro, it's rare, man. It's and this is what we need. We need fathers like that, bro. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
You
Like I
know,
said, I count my blessings. I mean, look,
yeah.
don't get me wrong. It's not always sunshine and rainbows.
No, it won't
Because
be.
when
No, no, definitely
my,
not.
my, my father and I, we've had fallings out.
Yeah, yeah,
We've had disagreements, and a lot of the times the disagreements aren't even to do with me and him. If you know what
yeah.
I mean, like it'll be something that an external family member has said,
Ah,
and someone who's external to me has said, and it's just me and my dad are both the middlemen in both
yeah, yeah.
situations. So it could even be a case of a mother-in-law and a daughter-in-law, if you know what I mean. So the
Oh, yeah,
mother-in-law would
yeah,
have a problem.
yeah.
So like for argument's sake, my mum would have an issue with something,
Okay.
and she would raise that concern with my dad, and my
Yeah,
dad. Or she would raise it with my wife, and my wife would then come to me and she would tell me, "Look, your mum said this," and you know
yeah,
exactly what I mean by
yeah,
the
yeah,
in-law thing. The husband always gets in the middle, so it's like sometimes the way me and my dad might bicker, it's like two brothers bickering, if you
yeah,
know what I'm talking about.
yeah.
So,
I
oh,
do
but
get
your
you.
wife said this, but my wife said that, and your wife said
Yeah,
this. So it's a case where my dad knows that he's been told something, I know
yeah,
that I've been told something, and we've both. Now, I don't want to say anything to piss off the female audience or
yeah,
anything,
yeah,
but a lot of women know that women exaggerate, right? Women exaggerate, especially when it comes to petty little arguments. So my dad and I would have a disagreement. We're in the back of our heads, we both know that we've been told something by our wives, who are women.
yeah,
So we need to come at each other with some sort of a clear mind where we don't just, my dad will never just call me and be like, oh, you said this to your mum, what do you think
yeah,
you're
yeah,
doing, what do you think you're saying? And I will never call my dad saying, oh, how's she talking to my wife like that? It's never like that. It
yeah,
has to be what he'll call me, he'll be like, oh, salam, how you doing? I'll be like, oh, salam, I'm good,
yeah,
how are you? How's the kids, how's this, how's that, blah blah blah. And I'll be like, oh, I just want to quickly brush up on something, mum mentioned that, blah blah blah. And I'll be like, oh yeah, my wife said da da da. And then we'll come into the middle and we'll basically
bro.
come to
Can
an
I
agreement.
can I stop you on that point? That's really interesting, because like because I'm trying to understand how the father and son are dealing with conflict. Where did you learn how to deal with conflict that way, or communicate that? Did you learn that growing up, just watching external things, or was that
Yeah,
given to you by
definitely.
pops, or what? Where did you get that from? Because that's interesting.
So if I'm truly honest, I learned
Yeah,
majority of anything to do with maturity. I learned
yeah,
from my father and my wife, which is
right.
something that you don't really hear a lot of people say.
No, you
My
don't.
wife, my wife taught me a lot of maturity, if that makes any sense.
No, tell me about that. No,
She
it doesn't. Give me an
so
example. Yeah,
I grew up, witnessing a lot of arguments and
yeah,
fights and stuff like that. Especially in the area that I grew up in Hackney, so
yeah,
rough streets. You get to see a lot of things, you hear a lot of things, and then especially with family drama, it doesn't add to it. You grow up seeing a lot of things that are quite negative, and you kind of learn to adapt. But I
yeah,
think the way I learned from that was I didn't learn to be patient. I learned to adapt that in my own personality, and every time I had an argument, I'd be able to see I'm becoming like my family. Like I'm not my family per se, but like the family drama is kind of instilled into my head, and now
yeah,
I'm using that to argue with people, and I'm starting to like there's be a little bit of pettiness coming out from my side, and
yeah,
I realize like if I've come from this, I'm becoming like this as well.
yeah,
So when I
yeah,
got married, alhamdulillah, like my wife, she told me, look, if you're gonna deal with any sort of arguments, if you're gonna deal with anything, my dad and my wife both taught me one thing was to remain silent,
yes,
and that's something that I struggle very very hard to
agreed.
do. Like even to this day, I struggle
Yeah,
to do. I can't stay. It's like it's one of them ones where someone's telling me, oh, you broke my window, and I was
yeah,
like, I wasn't even in the country. Do you get what?
yeah, yeah,
It's one of them ones where you know it's not you, and you just get so frustrated. Your mind starts to blow into different whatever, and you just don't know how to. You can't stay silent. So one thing
Bro,
my dad taught me was
yeah, go on.
the Prophet ﷺ obviously taught us
Mm.
remain silent, don't don't get angry,
Yeah, yeah.
try and remain calm. And my wife is the type of person who doesn't enjoy conflict. She doesn't enjoy confrontation. So
Mm.
she chooses to remain silent. And even if
Yeah,
somebody's given her things that she hasn't done, she'll wait until they're done.
yeah.
Maybe she'll come back later and be like, listen, just to clear it up, I never did this and that, and I never said
Yeah,
this or that either. And she taught me how to mature in a way where remain calm,
yeah,
be smart with how you're arguing, be smart with how
yeah,
nobody's telling you not to argue, but when you do, only argue and say the things that you need to say. Don't bring up things that happened 10 years ago, 5 years ago,
yeah,
2 days ago. It's irrelevant. Don't bring up anything irrelevant. Only if you need to fight your case, fight it maturely, fight it the way you're supposed to, where it makes sense to the
mm.
case that you're arguing at that
Got
point.
you. Wow, bro, it's like this. It is your one's quite a unique one here because I would expect that you would be similar to your dad in that sense, but you're kind of like the opposite. Like the dad's the calm one that you're picking up certain traits, but you're the one who is more vocal. You see what I'm saying, bro? Like,
Yeah.
it is that because of what you've been exposed to? Would you
You
say?
know what? Like I said,
Yeah,
because I've grown up around a lot of family members, alhamdulillah,
yeah,
I've picked up different characteristics from loads of people, you
yeah.
know? So, like, I would ask my wife sometimes, I'd be like, who do you think I'm more like? Do you think I'm more like my mom or my dad?
Right, right.
And she would tell me, she'd look at me and she'd be like, you're like neither. You're like none of them. And
Okay.
I have an uncle, so my dad's brother had a big hand in raising me, and he was
Yeah,
like, you got the fun uncle.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So my aunt, like his wife, would tell me you're the next him, like
Okay.
you're basically the newer version of him,
The
because
fun one, yeah.
I have yeah
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
I'm that sibling in the family where like my cousins would be like, oh, you coming down today? You know, we're gonna go out, we're
yeah.
gonna have fun, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. They look to me to have fun the same way all of us when we were young, we would look to my uncle to have fun, and we
Mm.
still do. You know, I still meet up with my uncle, and we still have a lot of fun, and he's in his 40s or something, but he'll still act like a kid, and I really appreciate that kind of mentality where it doesn't matter what age you are, have
Yeah.
fun. You know, I mean, especially with the children. Like he's got two boys, my cousins, and they have a lot of fun, and they know what fun means. When I come around, they know they're gonna have twice as much fun because I'm younger and I'm
Yeah.
I'm even crazier and stuff. You know, so I have a lot of characteristics of my uncle.
Yeah.
Then I have another characteristic from a different uncle and all my other
Yeah.
like there's a bunch of characters all in one. So I'm like
Bro,
a jack of
see,
all trades.
yes, see that. So, how would you identify yourself as now? Because you got some
Are you, are
different.
you, you talking about man or woman or what kind of identifications?
That's a good question, bro. That's no, no, no. Like, no. What I mean is, like, would you consider yourself as being grounded, or like, how would you describe
I
your?
just consider myself being a free spirit, man.
Oh, free. So, okay, got you.
Yeah, free
Adaptable,
spirit.
like
Like,
a chameleon
yeah,
kind of thing. Yeah, just go on.
yeah. I mean, down to earth, I could say yeah. You know, down to earth. But I feel
Yeah,
like I'm more of a jack of all trades type of person. If you want to go out for a dinner, we'll go out for a dinner.
yeah.
If you want to go out, watch a movie, we'll
Easy
go out watch a
going.
movie. I'm
Yeah,
open to everything. You know, I mean,
yeah,
that's another reason I started this channel is because I just thought
yeah,
my wife told me, you got good energy. People like your energy when
yeah.
you talk to them. So why don't you just start something? And I thought, yeah, cool. Let me start it. Put my energy out there, and we'll see how it goes, inshallah. And
Bro,
alhamdulillah, there's a lot of positive results from it.
I was gonna say about that. Yeah. So, see, if you are a jack of all trades and you're malleable, yeah. How do you stop yourself from going into the wrong kind of crowd or the wrong type of people? Like, how do you like? Because there's so many groups out there, and if you're flowing like this, you can easily get influenced by this and that. What is your base character like?
My base character is,
Yeah.
is is a practicing Muslim, man. If I'm
Okay.
honest, like
Yeah. Yeah.
everything I do, I question it in terms of religion. Like
Yeah.
I won't ever put anything above religion. I don't put my family above religion. I don't put my wife above religion. I don't put my daughter
Yeah.
above religion. Allah comes first. Allah and the Prophet ﷺ come first. You know,
Yeah.
whatever the teachings are, that's what has to come first for me.
Yeah.
So in terms of this, how do you call it? Wrong influences.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I said, I grew up in Hackney. There's a lot of
Yeah.
stuff that goes on there.
Yeah, bro.
And I lived in Hackney for 15 years,
Mm.
14, 15 years, and then I moved to East London. So the
Okay.
Hackney I was in was in North, so Dawston, Stoke Newington, Stamford Hill ends.
Yeah.
And then I moved towards East London.
Yeah.
Um, and then even there, like it's like whatever was happening in Hackney moved to Walthamstow.
Okay.
Like, that's where I lived
Why,
at the
why,
time.
why was that, bro? Like, how come because of that transition? What happened there? Like from
I'm not
Hackney to
sure. It's like the
Walthamstow?
gang violence sort of kind of
Right, right.
died down in Hackney a little bit, but then it kind of
Okay.
lifted back up, but in Walthamstow, Leighton area. And I
Yeah,
thought
yeah,
to myself, you know, it's a dangerous area, but alhamdulillah, I've never been involved with any sort of affiliation, street
yeah,
affiliation, gangs, drugs, and all of these things, knife crime. Like I always know, I know how to pick my crowd. So my crowd is like a lot of the friends that I have. I have a very small circle. So
yeah,
like whenever like I'm not the type of husband where I need to tell my wife I'm going out with the boys. That's never
yeah,
happened. I've only been away from her for I think for a weekend because one of my boys was getting married.
yeah,
Um, no, actually, one of my friends from college was getting married to a brother, and we all kind of became friends. So we went to Plymouth for a weekend, and it felt
yeah.
very weird for me because it's the first time I did a boys out sort of thing, and I
Right,
never do
right.
that. You know, I
Yeah,
anytime I need to go out, I go out with my wife.
yeah,
I'm very closed off, but then I'm also open at the same. I'm an introverted extrovert. It's a very weird,
yeah, yeah. You're
very
adaptable,
confusing.
bro. You just,
Yeah,
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 I guess so. But you know, with the friends that I have, like if I
yeah.
the person that calls me the most is my uncle.
Okay.
Like and he's my dad's cousin. So my
Yeah,
grandma and his late father are
yeah,
brother and sister. So that's the relationship we have. He's my uncle, but he looks at me. He doesn't look at me as a nephew. He looks at me as one of his boys.
yeah, yeah. Got
Yeah,
you.
because we're of similar age. We both grew up in the
Yeah,
same area, same sort of background. So he's like my boy. I'm like his boy. And when he calls me, it's more of a, oh, what are you saying? You good? And then we just
yeah,
have a
yeah,
conversation. It's never a, oh, how you doing, uncle? Blah blah.
yeah.
He's literally as if he's one of my closest boys.
Bro, can I ask you something about that as well? Because, like, see, there's a dynamic that's going on there. Like, I'll give you an example. You've sort of ticked the box for a healthy parenting. Because you know that you heard that saying like that it takes a village to raise a child, yeah. And it sounds like you had your village, and it consists of uncles, a influential father figure, and those that unit was there. And usually in our society we don't have that all the time, bro. It's like either the network is missing, so we're seeking external validations from gangs, groups, and all sorts.
Yeah.
But it comes across like that is the thing that kept you grounded, where you had those uncles around you, where you had that father figure around you, that you had the father as well, and you had a lot of male figures around you. So it's like as if that you had the unit, and that sort of kept you intact. Am I right in saying that, bruv? Like through that observation, do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, my parents uh, didn't allow me to do a lot that I did want to do, and
Yeah,
I used to hate that. You know, I used to say, oh, why can't you let me go out with my friends, and why can't you let me do
yeah,
this, and
yeah,
why can't you let me do that? And I'm only understanding now, alhamdulillah, that if I had they let me do all of that, I,
yeah,
there's a chance I could have gone into the wrong crowd. But then again,
yeah.
I also have that mentality where if you don't allow your kids to do anything, once
Mm,
they grow old enough and they
yeah,
realize nobody can stop me, they're gonna do everything they missed out on. And I'm talking, in all honesty, I'm talking from experience because
yeah,
throughout the ages of from when I was born all the way to the end of secondary school. So I
yeah,
hit year 11. I was this innocent kid. I was this
yeah,
quiet boy. You know, I was very, I was on Dean. Well,
yeah,
on Dean, I was very young, but I was,
yeah,
I did my Quran classes, I did my Hifz classes.
yeah,
I was a very good boy. But as
yeah,
soon as I hit college, college was in like I went to college in Angel, and the
yeah,
school and the madrasa that I went to was all around the house. So and it was a big community in Hackney. Like we all knew each other. All the families knew each other. And when I went to mosque, we all the friends were all my friends' dads were friends with my dad and his dad and that dad, and
yeah,
we all knew each other. But then as soon as I hit college,
yeah.
it's like I stepped into a whole new world. Do you know what I mean?
Right, right,
So it's like kind of the shackles were kind of taken off. Do you get
yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
trying to
yeah.
say?
I
So
do, bro.
I jumped on a bus. I go to college. I'm like, I don't know nobody here. Nobody knows me. There's no
Yeah, yeah.
family. There's no family friends. There's nobody here. On top of that, one thing I need to mention is I went to an all boys school majority of
Right.
my life,
Okay.
Islamic boys school.
Yeah.
So then I hit college, and it was a mixed college, and I'm thinking in my head, I've never seen females around me.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what? Like it's an embarrassing topic, but it's a truthful
No,
thing
no, say it,
to
bro. Is it because
you know
you
like
speak about your journey, man?
yeah,
Yeah,
100%. So I've obviously gone to college, and I'm seeing Muslims, non-Muslims, girls, boys, people dressed in certain ways, people having fun, people smoking, people drinking. I'm thinking,
yeah.
I've never seen this before.
Right, right.
Now I'm open to it because no one is stopping me. And because
Yeah,
I was never allowed, like after college, I'd go out. I'd go out with my
yeah,
friends, and I'd be like, I don't need to go home right now. I finished college early. I've got like 3 hours to do whatever I want to do.
yeah,
You know? And then I started going out with my friends, and alhamdulillah, I've never gone down the route of drinking and doing drugs, which is,
Yeah.
you know, I've had that sort of mentality where I know what's halal and what's haram, but
Yeah.
at the same time, I'm a human, so I'd have different sort of temptations. I'd
Yeah.
have different sort of, I want to go out with this person, I want to go out with that person,
Yeah.
I want to go to a restaurant and eat with all these boys and girls, and I want to, they're just my friends. It's, oh, we're just friends, we're going out. But then
All
obviously
that was, yeah,
one
yeah.
thing leads to another. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
because I wasn't allowed to do that back in the day, I thought to myself that I've got this opportunity, I'm gonna take advantage and do it tenfold.
Yeah.
So I don't know, you know, I'm a father, and I wouldn't allow my kids to do whatever they want. I'd allow them to do what they want under supervision, and
Yeah.
I'd let them know, like, listen, this is halal and this is haram. One
Yeah.
day you're gonna end up doing it, because you can never stop your child from doing anything haram. You can never
Yeah.
stop them from doing it, but you need to teach them what's right and what's wrong. I'm not saying instill fear in their hearts, but just make them understand that, look, being Muslim aside, this is what's right and what's wrong. Bring
Yeah.
religion into the picture. This is why it's allowed, and this is why it's not allowed. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So I feel like if you have the right balance between what's right, what's wrong, what's halal, what's haram, what you're allowed to do, what you're not allowed to do,
Yeah.
where you can go, what time you need to be back home, then I think your kids will understand discipline. Your kids will understand, okay, look, there's a reason my mom and dad told me do this and don't do that. Let me start
Bro,
listening to it.
would you say that there's a degree of understanding what age and at what age and what type of education that you should give them? Like, so say for example, if I start preaching at a young age to my kids, they're not ready for that. I have to give them, for example, what is appropriate at their understanding. Does that make sense, bro? Like,
Yeah.
so bit
So
by bit that I give them per stage. Like, so if I just dump a whole lot of education on them all at one time, they've not comprehended it because they don't have enough
no, of
life
course not.
experience. They're not at that age. You see
Of
what I'm
course
saying?
not.
Bro? Stage by stage.
I
Yeah,
The way I see it is, when there's a question, I always look for the answer in religion. So in
yeah,
Islam, we're obviously taught, and don't quote me on this because I don't know it word for word,
yeah.
but
No,
for the
it's fine.
first like year or two, or for the first 7 years, you're supposed to just play with your children. You're
Yeah,
supposed to just give them unconditional. You're supposed to give them unconditional love either way, but
yeah,
play with them, have fun with them, show them life is all about fun. Take them out, do whatever they want, spoil them, whatever.
yeah,
They hit the age of 7, start introducing Islam to them slowly,
yeah,
slowly. Start introducing, this is
yeah,
what hijab is, this is what salah is, this is how to do wudu. Because at the end of the day, my daughter sees her mum and dad praying.
yeah,
So from a 1 year old's perspective, 5 times a day she's seen her dad go up and down on a prayer mat. She has
yeah,
no idea
yeah,
what it is. And
yeah,
alhamdulillah, like, I'm on my prayer mat, and my daughter would crawl or walk onto my prayer mat, and she'll just lay there with her head down, like she's in
yeah.
sajda. And I'll think to myself, this is her knowing that whenever I pull the prayer mat out, my head is touching the ground.
Yes.
So when she grows up, when she's 7, 8 years old, inshallah, she's gonna ask me, Dad, why do you do this? And then I can start telling her, look, you've seen me for
Yeah,
7 years of your life. For the first 7 years of your life, you've seen me do this. What it is, it's salah. It's this. This is why we do it. This is that and the other. Then she starts to adapt to, oh, Dad, I want to do it like that with you as
yeah,
well. Do you know what I mean? So you can't teach your kids anything if you're not doing it yourself already.
yeah. I get
Yeah?
that, bro.
If my daughter
I get
sees me
that.
smoking, if my
Yeah,
daughter sees me drinking, if my daughter hears me swearing, if she watches me do haram,
yeah,
automatically she's gonna do it. If she never sees a cigarette in my hand, never sees a drink, alcohol beverage in my hand, never hears me swear, never hears me shout, she won't feel
yeah,
inclined to ever do it herself. You know, there's a reason kids pick up swear words, because they hear their parents say it.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I get
So
you,
it's all
bro.
about actions. Children always go off actions. You can never tell your children, do this, don't do that. You just have to show them, because they go off visual things for the first few years anyway.
Bro, I was gonna say, see, like, I want to skip a few phases in your life. I want to jump into your marriage. So, how long have you been married for, and how many kids do you have, and what are they, boys or girls?
Oh, you're gonna get me in trouble, man. I think I've been married for about 3 years, I think.
Oh, mashallah,
um,
mashallah.
yeah, I got married when I was 21, 22.
Yeah,
25 now. Had my daughter.
yep.
I think 2 year, 1.5 years after I got married. So
Okay,
she was born on May 10th,
okay.
2025, and that's my only child. Yeah, so I've only got a daughter at the moment,
Oh,
alhamdulillah.
mashallah, mashallah. Allah Mubarak, bro.
Yeah,
And how have you found being a father, bro? What's that like for you?
I couldn't ask for anything better, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah, I couldn't ask for it.
yeah,
Alhamdulillah. You know, I wasn't expecting to have a child this soon,
yeah,
um, but I did want a child. I definitely wanted a child, And
yeah,
it's funny because I did.
yeah,
My wife thought, oh, we're gonna have a baby, inshallah. But you probably want a son. But I said to her, in all honesty, I really want a
yeah,
daughter for some reason. Like I don't know what it was in my heart. I just
yeah,
felt like I'd be a good girl dad, if you know what
yeah.
I mean. You know.
No,
Um,
explain that one, brother. Explain it. Go then.
yeah.
Yeah, go on.
So alhamdulillah,
Never heard
she
that.
yeah.
The
Girl dad. I
terminology.
don't know. It's like I've always wanted to do. Like I have a brother. I have a little brother. So I
Yeah,
looked at him as a son as well in a way where I had a hand in raising him. We played
yeah,
together. We
yeah,
fought together. We did a lot of things together. And I thought to myself, I have a sister as well, but my sister was born when I was 5 years old, so I never knew what it was like to kind of raise a girl in that sense. Where
yeah,
I knew what it was like to have a sister, but I wanted to always raise a daughter. You know, like I'm happy having 10 daughters.
yeah,
Like my
yeah,
alhamdulillah, my daughter, she's a huge blessing, and
yeah,
she's changed a lot about myself. Like for some reason I've become more emotional. Like I
yeah,
never
yeah,
used
yeah,
to be that emotional. I've always my parents would describe me as a hothead for some
yeah, yeah.
reason. Yeah, but after having my daughter, it's just like I'm very soft, and I don't like it. I don't like that I've
Yeah.
become soft, but I think it's a good thing, because
No,
I
but
don't want to
bro,
be a hothead
is
around
that
my child.
is that soft with her, but you're firm on the outside, like with
No,
the
man, not even.
yeah,
I'm soft with
yeah.
everyone, and I don't like it because
Oh, okay.
it's yeah, it's I'm very very soft with her. But I think like if it's anything to do with my daughter would have to suffer even 10 seconds of pain, then
Yeah,
my
yeah,
mind will blow. Like I had an altercation
yeah,
with a guy with a guy in my block, and he said something to me, and it was along the lines of he needed something, and I said to him, listen, I'm just putting my daughter to sleep.
yeah,
I'll do it when I'm free. And
yeah.
he said to me, he goes, make it quick.
Okay.
And I took that very very badly, and I kind of
Yeah,
like my head kind of exploded.
yeah,
Like I wanted to do a lot of things that
yeah.
I shouldn't do, and alhamdulillah I didn't do it. But
Alhamdulillah. Yeah,
it's just one of those ones where you're telling me while I'm holding my daughter in my arm to hurry up and put her to sleep.
yeah, yeah. Got
Like
you.
I'll put you to sleep before I put my daughter. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's one of them ones where you don't ever go to a man and tell him how to deal with his children, especially his daughter,
That's
because I
sensitive,
feel
man.
like a
Yeah,
daughter is a man's soft spot.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course,
You
of
know.
course.
And I'd say the same thing for my father. Like I have a
Yeah,
sister, and I know for a fact my dad's soft spot is my sister,
yeah,
and he'll never admit it, but we can
yeah.
all see it.
You can see it.
And quite rightly so. Like I'm glad he does that because inshallah, if Allah blesses me with more children, more daughters, and more
Yeah,
sons, I'm favoring the daughters over over any of the boys. I don't care how many boys I have. I'm favoring
yeah,
the daughters more because the daughters are rahmah. The daughters are blessing from Allah. You know, the sons are a headache sometimes.
yeah.
And I'm talking from I'm the headache to my dad, so I would understand what he's talking about. You know what I mean?
Bro, it's a mad one, because I've got a mixture, and each there's different phases and stages. Like one of them can become your favorite, and it always fluctuates from person to person, and that. But the love is the same. It's that, yeah. But more attention is given to the one who reciprocates that, brother. It's a mad
Yeah,
dynamic, and it's always changing. It's always. But I get what you're saying, though, brother. In terms of like, they do bring out the softness, the nurturing side of you, man. 100% agree with
yeah,
that, brother.
definitely they do, man. They
You
make
know.
you soft like sponge, man.
Yeah.
They make you very very soft. But you know what? When you're a father, you have to also remain like I've never been one to get into altercations, get into fights and stuff like that. Um, like I've always been more of a quiet one, but after having a
Yeah.
child, you start to realize you have to put your foot down a lot. And I'm talking
Yes.
about even getting on public transport.
Yeah.
If nobody gives me way, I just don't argue. I can't be bothered arguing with
Yeah.
somebody. You never know what's gonna happen. So I just sit
Yeah.
quietly and mind my own business. But after having a child, it's like I'd get on a bus with a buggy and someone's not
Yeah.
moving out of my way. Never would I ever, in my own sense, be like, excuse me,
It's
you're in
them
my way.
things. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, but it's like I'd have a full-on go at somebody for not moving out of the way for a buggy. But it's not
Yeah.
even just for that. It's like I would see a person in a wheelchair and I'd be like, I'm more inclined to be more soft towards that person because now I'm picturing myself in their shoes, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll tell them, listen, move your bag out of the way and let the wheelchair come in. Like have some decency, have some consideration. So after having a child, consideration is a big thing in me now. Like I've become a lot more considerate than I used to be. I'd move out the way for people if they need to come on because in my head I'm thinking, what if I was that person? Having a child really made me realize I need to be 100 times, 1,000 times more considerate for others out there. You know. Like I'd get on a lift. I'd be getting in a lift with a buggy, and there'll be people who are
Yeah.
perfectly fine, young and fit, and I'd be like,
Yeah.
Why can't you just take the stairs and walk and let a person with a buggy go on the lift? Like, why are you wasting time? Do you get what I mean? Go, you can walk. Go take the stairs. People with buggies and wheelchairs, they can't take the stairs. That's what it's used for. But you want to take advantage and you want to,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's these small little things that I start to get more annoyed at now, because
yeah,
I'm starting to realize you are being inconsiderate. I don't like that. I'm a father, I'm a husband,
yeah,
I'm a son, and I'm a brother. I've learned to be considerate. There's a person here waiting for the lift. Go and take the
yeah.
bloody stairs. You don't need to. You don't need to take the lift. Do you get what I mean?
No, I get that, bro. And I understand that as well, bro. And that's sadly those common senses are what was missing in our society today as well, bro. Is the consideration, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I think is. You've actually hit a nail on the head, bro. Yeah, because I think the way society is going on is because of lack of that. I think one of many of these things, sorry, is lack of consideration. If I was considerate for my brother, if I was considerate for my sister, my mother, everyone. Now imagine the whole ummah does that. We're more considerate of each other. How impactful that will be in a positive way, bruv. Do you know what I mean? But it's like what you said as well. It's something that we have to learn, and not everyone has that awareness as well. So some get it, some don't, bro. Do you know what I mean? And some get it in different areas. They might apply it in a particular area, but then be negligent in other areas and that, bro. Do you know what I mean? It's like something that you have to keep on tuning and honing as you go along. Be considerate of what I'm saying. Be considerate of this person. Be considerate of so many
Yeah, man.
considerations, man. No, I get that. I get
It
that.
gets like that, man. You have to be. You know what? It's not just being considerate as a Muslim, but you have to be considerate as a human being. You know, like
Yes, yeah,
it's like my wife when she was pregnant.
yeah.
One or two people ever gave her a seat on the bus in her whole
Okay.
9-month pregnancy.
Yeah,
Other people would just stare at her while she's standing there with her belly.
yeah,
Yeah, and she would stop me from saying anything to anyone. Like I would fully go up to someone and I'd be like, "Listen, are you blind? There's
yeah,
a pregnant woman, let her sit down." Do you know what I mean? But my wife would be like, "Listen, just leave it. There's no need. There's no point. They could argue, they could fight, and then it's
yeah.
not good for the baby, for the mum to feel the. It's just one of them ones, man. But you know, alhamdulillah, Allah blessed me with a lot. You know, we've
Alhamdulillah.
got a car. We
Yeah,
need to go anywhere, we jump in a car. Like I would
alhamdulillah.
never want to send my wife and my daughter on public transport because I know what
Yeah,
people are like, especially in this city. I'm sorry to say, but London is full of a lot of idiots in this city. But there's also a
yeah,
lot of nice people. There's very few. It's like needle in a haystack when you find a nice person. You know, people don't say please. People don't say thank you.
yeah,
Even when you're driving, you know, you let someone go. They don't say thank you. They don't put their foot. They don't put their fours on. They don't put their hazards to say thank you. And you
yeah.
just get annoyed. You're like, I stopped 100 cars behind me in traffic to let you go, and you're
Go,
being
yeah.
unappreciative. Like, have some decency. Have some decorum. You know what I mean?
Bro, do you think it's not about them and it's more about us as a person, like the
But what we
incident?
expect.
Yeah, that, and also maybe the learning's not for them. It could be for us, like to be more considerate, for example, because they may be oblivious, and it's down to them to get that experience. That's on them. But
No,
what
not
do you think
really.
on our bit? Yeah, go on,
I
tell
don't
me.
think it's because there is nothing for us to do. Well, we've done something for the person where they're
Yeah,
not appreciating it, or they're being an
yeah,
inconsiderate one. So the only thing we can do is, I don't know, pray for them. I don't. What else can we do for them?
yeah,
Really,
yeah,
really
yeah,
and truly, what? There's nothing else that we can do to
yeah.
to help them except for teach them. Well, we could teach them a lesson, but that could go left. You know
But
what I mean?
do you think the situation is for them or is it really for us?
It's a test for us to see how patient we are.
Yeah,
But it's also they need to somehow learn a lesson as well, because at the end of the day, what goes around comes around. You know, they're gonna
yeah.
end up experiencing that, if not 10 times worse.
I get
And they
that,
would
bro.
understand saying please, saying thank you
Yeah,
goes a long way in a person's day, in a person's life.
absolutely.
Being considerate, giving someone a seat, giving a homeless man a pound, buying him food or whatever, it goes a long way. It's a selfless good deed. Just do it because you want to be a good person. Don't do it because you want to show the camera. Don't record yourself. Like, I wouldn't call myself an influencer or I'm a content creator, yeah, but I wouldn't
Yeah,
call myself an influencer. But if I was to give charity, if I was to go buy food for a homeless person, I wouldn't want that recorded. Do you know what I mean? If
yeah,
someone
yeah,
sees me, if inshallah one day I'm up there where people recognize me and I walk down the street and someone sees me buying food for a homeless person and then they pull out their phone and be like, oh, CBS is out here buying food for the
yeah,
homeless. If I see them doing that, I'll be like, listen, do me a favor, delete that, don't post it. Because
yeah,
I don't want to give off where I want people to see that I'm giving charity so they can think I'm a
yeah,
good person. Now, if I give charity, it's for myself, it's for Allah, and it's for the homeless person. It's got nothing to
yeah,
do with what I portray online. Because if I wanted to do that, there's a lot of people that do that. There's a lot of people
yeah,
that give charity and they only do it on camera,
yeah.
you know? And I don't agree with it. But there's a way of doing it. There's a way of going about it. If you're going to give charity, and your intention is, I want clout, I want views, that charity is done and dusted. That means nothing in the eyes of God, you know. But if you're doing it for the sake of, this person needs help, God's blessed me with some money, I have a little bit to spare, let me give it to this guy, let me buy him some food. I'm going to buy myself food, why can't I buy him food? Just looking after somebody. God is watching that, God sees that, God appreciates it. Do you know what I mean? So if you're doing it for others, it's pointless. You're not a good person. That doesn't class you as a good person. If you're doing it for the sake of God, for the sake of making sure that person has somewhere to sleep tonight, something to eat tonight, that classes you under the category of being a good person.
Yeah. Bro, I want to sort of sidetrack from what you've just said, just slightly go off the tangent. How did you, like, at what point in your life did you say, you know what, I want to get married? What was your state of mind like at that time, bro? Like, because you went from childhood to teenage years and thought, you know what, okay, now, is it something that, did you get arranged marriage, or was it a conscious decision that you made for yourself, or like, what was the transition
That was
like
a
for
love
you, bro?
marriage. It
Oh,
was a
love,
love
okay,
marriage. Yeah, yeah,
okay,
I'm
yeah.
not afraid to say it because,
No, no,
you know,
don't be afraid.
it
It's
is what it
nothing to be
is.
afraid of, bro. Yeah, yeah,
My culture, obviously, as well as your culture, we have a lot of
yeah,
arranged marriages. You know, it's a
yeah,
normal
yeah.
thing.
Standard,
But
yeah.
yeah. So my wife isn't from my culture at all.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So we're an
Yeah.
interracial couple. Um,
Amazing.
and
Okay.
yeah, and we have a mixed race baby.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know. So she comes from an Eastern European background,
yeah,
and I come from a South Asian background, and
yeah,
there is a huge culture clash, which is
yeah,
it's normal. But you know, a few years ago, you know, we used to work together. And, you know, we like
yeah,
each other and stuff like that. And obviously, dating is haram, boyfriend girlfriend is all haram, all
yeah,
of that stuff. I didn't want to be in sin. Also, she wasn't Muslim at the time,
yeah, yeah,
so she took her shahada a few years ago. She became Muslim, and
yeah,
at that time, I was like, listen, you know, we need to get married if we're gonna do
mm,
this. If we're gonna need to get married, let's not be in sin. Let's just get our nikah done. Let's get
yeah,
married, and that's it. You know, I always knew I wanted to get married. I just never knew when. I never. I didn't even. It wasn't even a big deal for me to have children. Like if I didn't have children ever in my life, it wouldn't be something where I'm really upset I wanted children.
mm,
Funnily enough, it was just one of those where if Allah blesses me with a child, then alhamdulillah. If He doesn't,
yeah.
then He doesn't. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, you know, long story short, alhamdulillah, we got married,
Alhamdulillah.
and I know a lot of people disagreed with it. One, because they thought I was too young. Two, because it's something that no one else in my family has done.
Yeah, yeah,
Everyone in my family is married to someone from the same culture, um, or someone of the same color, let's say.
yeah,
But see, my wife is a whole different color, whole different race, came from a whole different religion, you know.
yeah,
So it was a big thing for my family to. For some reason, I found it easier than everybody else. I said to myself, I was like, at the end of the day, she's human, I'm human.
yeah,
What's so different about us? But for some reason, my family and friends had a lot more adapting to do, and I had to
yeah,
question. I was like, what are you adapting to? You're not marrying her, I'm marrying her.
yeah,
I'm the same person. Do you know what I mean? The only difference is I'm married now. I've got a ring on my
yeah,
finger and I'm living separately. There's nothing else that you need to adapt to. She comes from a different background. She comes from a different religion. She comes from a
yeah,
different culture. But what has that got to do with anybody else? That's for me to deal with. She eats different food to the food that I eat. She practices things differently to how I practice. It's got nothing to do with the rest of the family. So when other family members get involved in your marriage, that's when
yeah.
it starts to cause a rift because
Right,
I
right,
married her,
right.
she married me. She's my responsibility. She ain't your responsibility. Do you get what I
Bro,
mean?
how did you maintain those boundaries of family
I'm
interference?
still maintaining it.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm still maintaining it. That's
yeah,
a never-ending story, man. That's never gonna end. But
yeah,
one important thing you need to do when you get married as a man is
yeah,
move out, man. You gotta move out. Whether you have a good
yeah,
relationship with your family or not, move out, man. Because
yeah,
I tell you one thing, you will clash.
yeah, yeah. It's
The Prophet
inevitable.
ﷺ taught us. The Prophet
Yeah.
ﷺ taught us that
So,
give
so,
your wife and your mother a separate kitchen. And what does he mean by that? You know, keep them separate. Keep them
yeah,
together, but keep them separate because they will clash. And I'll be honest, my wife and I, we lived with my parents in the beginning,
yeah,
and there were a lot of clashes, and there were clashes with myself, not just with my wife. And sorry, I had to put my foot down and say, listen, we're gonna need to separate. I mean, I didn't have the means to do it, didn't have the
yeah,
money to do it, but we had to find a way. And alhamdulillah, you know, we did, and we are much better off that way. And we're still in contact with my parents, we're still in contact
yeah,
with my family. But you see, my father-in-law,
yeah,
he's a very, like I said, my dad's masculine and mature, right? Until I met my father-in-law, this man, You see, his upbringing and my dad's upbringing are two different worlds. I see my father-in-law as one of the most mature human beings I've ever met in my entire life.
MashaAllah, yeah.
Right now, all I've got to say, when he was young, he was in the army.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, back home.
Yeah.
So automatically, maturity was already instilled in him.
Yeah,
His
yeah.
father was also in the army.
Yeah, got you.
So they come
Discipline,
from a,
man.
yeah, man. So
Yeah,
discipline,
yeah,
maturity, masculinity as well,
yeah,
especially. And he's got 2 daughters, and I'm married to one of his daughters.
yeah.
Do you get what I mean? So
And he
he
accepted you,
already,
bro. Like, did he accept you?
oh
And
yeah, the fact that he accepted me told me
yeah.
I must be doing something right in my life. For him
Right,
to
right.
say, I accept for you, I accept for you to be the one who I now let my daughter go to.
Yeah, that's big, bruv.
Yeah,
That's massive,
I looked
man.
at myself in the mirror and I was like, I made it. Do you know what I mean?
Is it
Because
you made it past him, or is
yeah,
it
no,
you just
like I
made it?
made it. Like I must. I started looking at myself thinking I'm something now. Do you know what I mean? Like my
Yeah,
father-in-law thinks I'm a
yeah,
mature man. Like yeah,
yeah,
man. Nobody can
yeah.
say nothing to. Do
That's
you know
a
what I mean? Like I got
seal of
validation.
approval. Yeah, yeah.
100%. Yeah,
I
man.
get that.
Handshake and all of that, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So my father-in-law really respects me for the person that I am, and I never
yeah.
got that validation from my own family,
That's big,
unfortunately.
man.
You know.
That is big. That's
Yeah.
massive.
So my family would look at me as someone who's young and immature, and
Yeah,
I am young and
yeah,
I am immature, but my father-in-law, I think, is the only one that sees the mature side of me. So he relies on me for a lot of the things. Like if he ever needs anything, he'll call me before he calls his daughter.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's very
not
reassuring,
that.
bro. That's yeah.
Yeah, because he doesn't have a son, so he looks at me as his only son.
Right, yeah, yeah,
And I take that responsibility big, and I always make sure if my father-in-law ever needs anything, I make sure I'm there no matter what, because he relies on me. He looks at me as a son. I look at him as a father, you know. And he's a very mature individual. He came from an army background. He came from a disciplined background.
yeah,
He came from an Eastern European background. And I've been to his house back in Eastern Europe. I've met his parents, and alhamdulillah, they're very very respectful, down to
yeah,
earth people. And when I walk through the door, they're one of those people that they observe a person's character, how they move,
yeah,
how they walk, how they talk. And in Russian, because they're from a Russian background, right?
yeah,
And I didn't say that before. I kept saying Eastern European, but
yeah.
Russian discipline, bro, I don't know how to
Next
explain
level.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
Next level discipline. And
Next level, man.
for them to tell my wife, you done well, you know, well done, he's a good guy,
Yeah, yeah,
tells me that, you know what, alhamdulillah, I'm heading in the right direction. They respect me as a Muslim. They respect my wife being a Muslim. They
yeah.
say salam to me. They make sure the food is halal wherever we go. Like they're not Muslim, but they treat me
Oh, that's so strange.
like I'm
Do you
their
know what I
like one of
find?
their own.
Like I find, why is it that in our culture they're less embracing than the non-Muslims? The non-Muslims seem to be a lot more embracing. Yeah, I mean, it's a weird one, man.
It's an unfortunate one.
Yeah.
And
Like
me
our
and my
own
wife have
people
this
don't.
conversation a
Yeah,
lot. A lot of my friends are
yeah,
Christian,
yeah,
Sikh. I have a lot of Muslim friends as well.
yeah,
But she asked me the same question you're asking me. Why is it that a lot of non-Muslim individuals seem to have more respect and are more open and accepting than
yeah.
Muslim individuals? And I would have to say to her, it's not Muslims. I wouldn't say it's Muslims. It's South Asian
Culture.
culture. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
South Asian culture, because a lot of the Muslim friends I have aren't South Asian. My
yeah.
Muslim friends are Moroccan, Arab,
Mm.
Jamaican, anything that's not South Asian. And they are the
Yeah,
most accepting people on earth. Like I've got Turkish Muslim friends, I've got Cypriot Muslim friends,
yeah,
I've got Muslim friends from all over the world.
yeah,
So why you see, the thing is, our culture, we're very close-minded. And I'm
yeah,
never ever going to change my belief
yeah,
when I say that our culture are very close-minded people. We are. We only want to hang around with our own. We only marry our own.
yeah.
We only want to mix in with our own crowd. We don't want to open up. How many South Asians do you know are friends with white people, black people, Chinese people? You don't see it.
I mean, I personally am around amongst them. Like in my circle of people, bro, it's mixed. It's like you, it's very, very mixed. But I know what you're saying. It's not as common. You know what I mean? So I get that.
Yeah, and I don't
I
know
get
why
that.
it is.
Yeah,
I've always wondered why our culture never accepts any other culture.
yeah,
Why we don't sort of outsource and just kind of mix, mix. And you're allowed to marry a white girl. You're allowed to marry a
yeah,
black girl. You're allowed to marry a white man, black man, whatever. You're allowed to do these things, but our culture prevent it from happening, and they make it seem haram. And this is what makes other people who aren't Muslim believe that Muslims only marry brown Muslims. That's not true.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
There's a whole
my wife is white.
mixture.
I'm brown. I come from a brown culture. My wife comes from a white culture. We're both Muslim. We got married. We have a white daughter.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing wrong in it. There's nothing wrong in it at all. It's a halal thing to do. It's actually encouraged to do because you're opening yourself up to other, to other individuals, to other cultures. And the big thing about South Asian culture, we don't get out much. We don't travel,
Yeah.
you know. And I only learned that after I got married. My wife has been to over 60 countries.
Subhanallah. Wow.
Yeah, Allahumma barak. She's traveled the world, and that was before me. That was before we got married. After we got married, she took me everywhere. She took me to countries I've never even heard of.
Yeah.
And after I went to these countries, I learned, right, okay, this person's culture, that person's culture is very different,
Yeah.
but they still somehow get along. Italians do this, and Spanish people do that, and Moroccan people do this, and Chinese people do that. Like, I'm learning so many different things. And she said to me, this is why she, as an individual, is more open to every culture. Because she's been around the world. She has friends from all over the place. She understands different cultures. She understands different religions. She understands everything. So this is why it never bothers her to ever marry someone who's from a different background, or be friends with someone who's from a different background. You know what I mean?
Bro, I want to touch on a different area. What do you think we're facing in society as men now, according to your own understanding, bro? Like, what do you think we're lacking? What do you think we need? What have you identified?
In terms of what we're lacking as men, or as a society?
No, as a society, bro. As a man,
We're lacking religion.
Holistic. Religion? Do you think so?
We're definitely. We're lacking religion, man.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the only thing we're lacking. We're lacking religion.
Why do you say that, brother? In what sense? Because I see religion all around us. I mean, when you say that, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, there's religion all around us, but who really follows it?
Ah, that's the difference, yeah.
You know?
I get that.
If everybody followed religion the way they were supposed to follow, and I'm not just talking about Islam, I'm not talking about Muslims, I'm talking about Christians as well. I've said this to a lot of Christian friends. I would say to them, listen, you do realize, right, that it's not just Muslims that aren't allowed to drink and smoke and eat pork and stuff like that. As a Christian, you're also not allowed to drink alcohol, smoke weed, eat pork and stuff like that. You do know that, right? And they're like, oh, no, I am allowed. And I'm like, no, listen, read the Bible.
Yeah.
It's in there. It's all a matter of, you know what? If somebody doesn't want to agree that it's religion that we're lacking, fine. We're lacking discipline.
Okay.
But where does discipline come from? Discipline comes from religion anyway. Christians, proper religious, God-fearing Christians, they have proper discipline. And I've met them, I'm related to them, and I know them. Proper on-deen Muslims, they have discipline. I know them, I met them, and I'm related to them. So I know what I'm talking. Like, I'm not just speaking out of my mouth, and I'm not just speaking out of what I'm thinking. I'm speaking from experience. I know a lot of Muslims that don't have discipline, and I don't talk to them because it's like, I'm not gonna have a conversation with you if you're gonna be effing and blinding in your sentences. That's not how a Muslim talks. That's not how a human being talks. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. I think religion and discipline have a big part to play in it, but it all stems from religion anyway. I think that's what we're lacking in society. If everybody knew how to be on good terms with everybody, like I posted a video the other day on my TikTok saying, and on YouTube saying that if England lose the World Cup again, I really hope there's no racism anymore. Because let's like the last World Cup, there was a whole racist riot going on that these blacks in our country and they made us not lose and blah blah blah. I got a message on TikTok today actually. From a racist idiot saying that, oh, shave your beard, go back to your country, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, what's the need? Do you know what I mean? What's the need to be racist? What's the need to say all of these things? If all the people of color left this country, there'd be nothing left. Everyone would be eating beans on toast every day.
Bro, right. So you mentioned something here. There's about social media. So you've got this channel called CBS. Tell me a bit about that, bro. What's that about? What do you do on there, bro?
Ah, man, where do I start? So obviously CBS is an abbreviation for certified bullshit.
Yeah. You're keeping it real.
Yeah, 100%. I just talk about the bullshit that goes on every day. The kind of things that would bother me, and it relates to others. So when I post a video about something, people would comment, oh, yeah, I've never noticed that, or yeah, I've always thought about this, but no one's ever spoken about it, no one's ever talked about it, and stuff like that. That's the kind of thing that I want to do, and I want to talk more. The reason I started CBS is I wanted to grow a community. I don't want I don't look at people who follow me as followers or fans, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean. I look at them more of, you're part of the squad, you're part of the CBS squad. This is a safe space. Come and
Yep.
talk to me. Come and let's
Absolutely.
discuss something, or tell me something you want me to put out there to the
Yeah.
audience that and I happily talk about. And alhamdulillah, there's a lot of positive outcomes from it. So the reason I started the channel was because I wanted to be myself. I wanted to put myself out there. I wanted to obviously generate some sort of income from it, because I
Yeah.
want to leave behind a legacy for my children. And I can't leave a legacy behind for my children working a 9 to 5 office job. It's not something anyone can do. I'm still, I still
Understand.
work, I still go to work every day and stuff like that. But I want to have something where I don't need to rely on somebody like, oh, Mr. David, sir, am I going to get paid next week, or can I get a bonus, Mr. John, or whatever? I want to be
Yeah.
able to do that for myself. You know what I mean?
I
I
get
don't
that,
want to
bro.
have to rely on another man. I only want to rely on the one above, and that's it.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah. No, I get that. So, I mean, what do you how do you plan to progress this, brother? I mean, do you plan to? So, you mentioned something about community, expanding the community, and then doing what after that? What would that look like, bro?
I haven't actually thought that far ahead, if I'm
Yeah.
honest. That's a good question. I do want to, I want to meet up with a lot of the people that sort of follow me on socials, and I wanna know what their life stories are. Like, the reason I started CBS was because initially I had an idea of doing a podcast
Yeah.
where I could bring people in, talk to them, help them grow. Because I've never ever wanted to grow myself. I've always wanted to take people with me. But a lot of people didn't believe in me. A lot of people didn't believe that I could make it one day. And I haven't made it. But alhamdulillah, I'm doing okay. Inshallah, one day I will make it. And the people that did support me, the people that are with me, I want to take them all with me, man. I can never win by myself. That's why when I say CBS is a community, I mean CBS is an actual community where we grow together. If you want your page to grow, jump on with me, and I'll put you out there. I won't even charge you for it. Just jump in on the podcast with me, and we'll do it together. We'll put yourself out there. So I started off with small little rants, small little me getting angry at a petty little thing, grow an audience, and from there, inshallah, move on to a podcast, which alhamdulillah I've started now. But the dynamics sort of changed, where I wanted to get a studio and sort of film a podcast, call it a certified bullshit podcast.
Yeah.
But then again, I thought, alhamdulillah, I got my starlights fitted in the car. And I thought, you know what, this is a nice little vibe. A lot of the videos I make are always in the car. I never do it out on the street or in my house. I always do it in the car. Why not incorporate a podcast in a car and call it a podcast, if you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I set up the microphone. Yeah, I set up the microphone, got the purple starlights, and I thought, if I can start filming episodes like this, why not? If I can get guests to sit in the car with me, put the camera up there somewhere, and we'll do a podcast where it's just two people in the car.
Bro,
It's
do
different.
it, man.
Nobody has ever done it before. So I thought, you know what? Why not, inshallah,
Inshallah, bro. Okay, so I'm gonna leave some closing remarks from yourself. If there's any advice you can give to brothers, fathers, people out there, what would that be, bruv? What would your golden nugget, your final takeaway be, bruv?
Have sabr, man. Be patient. Be patient. Don't let things get to you. Don't let little things, big things get to you. Be patient. And have tawakkul, man. Have faith in Allah. Have faith in God that you'll be all right. As a father, you're gonna get tested. You're gonna lose money. You're gonna lose your assets. You're gonna lose a lot of things. Your car's gonna break down. You're gonna get into accidents, stuff like that. All these things are gonna happen, and it's all a test from God. God is gonna test you, and He's gonna test you hard to see how you prevail. What do you go and rely on? Do you go and rely on others, or do you rely on God? You're gonna lose your job. When you lose your job, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna stress and panic, or are you gonna ask God to help you? And are you gonna tell yourself that I lost my job for a reason? Now I get to see my child grow. I can see my child's first steps. I can hear my child's first words. And now I'm talking. All of this is from experience. I was jobless for a long time, but alhamdulillah, in that time, I saw so many things that a father wouldn't really see. I saw my daughter's first steps. I heard my daughter's first words. I see my daughter smiling. I'm seeing everything. I'm a very present father, alhamdulillah, and that's all because I'm not stuck to my job. My job isn't my second life. My job is just something that I do to earn a little bit of change. So sabr, tawakkul, have faith in Allah, and don't let go of religion, man. 5 times a day, you can't go wrong. And I know that's not something that people would always want to hear. Why is he always got to bring religion into the picture? But I'm being dead serious. If you take religion out of the picture, you've got nothing to look forward to. Pray 5 times a day. Ask God for forgiveness for anything that you might have done. Remember God. Have faith and trust in God. And have a lot of patience, man. Definitely have a lot of patience. But yeah, that would be my advice. If I could if I could talk to my younger self, that's exactly what I'd tell my
Mm.
younger self. Don't let go of religion. Respect your parents,
Yep.
respect your siblings, respect your family members and your children. Patience, trust in God, and forgiveness constantly, man. That's all I would say. That's the only advice I would give. Everything else, it would, it won't come unless you have those 4 or 5 things sorted anyway. Without religion, forget about money, forget about success.